Manchester United reportedly leading the race to sign Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder and their slayer on Monday night, Ruben Neves, according to a number of major reports. We're going to delve into that and also take a look at the big claims today that Liverpool are close to landing a £60 million deal for Porto attacker Luiz Diaz. We're also going to take a look and delve into the current problems with Anthony Martial's exit from Manchester United. Money issues seem to be the key here for Sevilla. Maybe that's why they're willing to lower their price for Jules Koundé for Chelsea. Make sure you smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Turn on that bell notification button. This is another episode of the Done Deal Show. Let's go. Morning, welcome back, people. Hope you are well. Hope you are good. Lots to talk about this morning in terms of the transfer world. Big Liverpool news circulating and trending across social media. Big Man United news trending across social media in relation to Anthony Martial and Ruben Neves. I want to take a look at some of your comments. First of all, a lot of talk about Donny and what's going on at Man United. That's all going to be addressed on the Top 6 show this afternoon. So I wanted to go through that with a panel and not just myself and you. So we will be addressing the Donny claims. We'll be looking at the problems with 17 players wanting to leave. We'll be delving into all of that on the Top 6 show at 6 p.m. this afternoon. So we'll be back doing that later. Wanted to have a bit of a transfer roundup, really. Big up, DJ. Hope that you are well, my friend. Hope you're good. What I'd like you all to do for me as well right now in the comment section is let me know where you're watching from and what you're doing. So if you're in Singapore and you're on your lunch break, let me know. If you're in New York and you've just got in from a night out, let me know. I want to know what you're up to. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know where you are watching this from. I do indeed. Wow, okay, that's a weird comment from somebody there. Terry, you can't judge players that have basically never played. Yep, and we'll get on to all of that on the Top 6 show later on. Here we're talking transfers. We're delving into some of the news that's circulating. And we'll start off with Luiz Diaz of Porto, £60 million potential move to Liverpool Football Club. What I find intriguing about this deal is these claims have kind of been bubbling for a number of weeks now. We did a video about 2 weeks ago talking about the potential links. Today, according to the Daily Record and a number of accounts across social media, that Liverpool are reportedly on the verge of securing the deal for around £60 million with Porto. They state the deal is close. The player has excelled in the Champions League this season. It's someone that Liverpool have been watching and monitoring for a fair while. Of course, there's very little on this from the Liverpool tier ones, and there never is with transfers. It seems like such an interesting deal. It almost feels too perfect in some ways. This is very much what Liverpool fans wanted. A good quality attacking player to come in to cover Mo Salah and Mane that are away at AFCON, to bolster their squad for what's more important for the long term, really, as well, to give them a new string to their bow. Of course, they've been linked with Rafinha, but he is heavily tipped as of now to go to. He's heavily tipped as of now to go to Bayern Munich. So maybe that's a deal that they've got to look away from and are not able to kind of complete. Luiz Diaz, he looks like a Liverpool player in terms of the profile. Yes, £60 million is a lot of money, but the inflation in the game has been huge, especially with the Premier League clubs about to receive even more money after the new USA TV deal. But he's 24 years of age. You wouldn't necessarily call him a superstar right now. Right-footed, plays on that left-hand side, so he's got that inverted nature, which Jurgen Klopp likes to use. When you look at him statistically, and you look at his current season, it's pretty decent. He's played 24 games this year, 14 goals, 5 assists, if I'm not mistaken. High level of productivity, and he's played so well in the Champions League as well. Of course, a competition exceedingly close to the hearts of all Liverpool fans. I look at this as being potentially a very solid deal for Liverpool. If they can bring a player of this ilk and of this quality in, it's what they need. Squad numbers is not what it's about. It's about the overall quality. And with all due respect to Liverpool, they don't have anyone that comes in for Mane or Salah that's anywhere near their standard, anywhere near their level, anywhere near their ability, anywhere near, not even the potential to get anywhere near it in the future. And I think Luiz Diaz has that about him. Doesn't mean he'll make it. Doesn't mean he'll be 100% guaranteed a success. But he has excellent technical ability, good physicality, a good height, a good age, everything that kind of fits the mold for an FSG Jurgen Klopp signing. There are no signs, as we say, from the tier ones that this deal is as close as some media outlets are claiming, but it's a name that continually is being linked with Liverpool. I want your opinions, Liverpool fans. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings on this transfer now before we go on to some of the other news here. Terry, what we're saying here, watching from Australia. That's nice to know. From Jamaica. Look at that there from Kirk. He's in Jamaica right now. Big up to yourself, Football Matters. Jim is watching in California. Hello to you in California. You're in South Africa and working out. That's Tiago's son. Big up yourself. Having a cup of tea in Hawaii. That's nice. Look at that, Hawaii. Look at the different people from around the world watching. Always very humbling for me. Man like Nav. Big up, Terry. I'm from Malaysia. Just done with my dinner. Big up yourself. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Hi, Terry. There we go. Been on my hands today on 3D rendering. I don't know what that is, but I'd like to know. Thank you very much for telling me. We've got a number of super chats we're going to go to in a few moments. Keep those coming in, people. Appreciate the support massively, and make sure that like buttons are being smashed as well. DJ Liverpool here. Big up from Kingston, Jamaica. Hello to you. Do you know it's one country I need to go to, man? Need to go to Jamaica. Got to do it. Edmonton, UK. That's not far from where I grew up, bruv. I'm a Leighton boy. You know, Edmonton's not too far. Watch Lamin, watching from my bedroom. Love it. One of my most favorite countries in the world there, Vancouver, Canada. Man's in New York. Look at this, Stevie, in Dorset. Go on, the Stevie boy. Over there in Dorset, doing his thing. Love to see. JJ says, no chance. I would rather have Genie or Coutinho on loan. Liverpool fan would rather Coutinho back than Luiz Diaz. Do any Liverpool fans agree? Do any Liverpool fans agree in the comment section with that? Eating McDonald's in Luton is what Purple Patch has got to say here. On holiday from Bangladesh, can't believe what's happening to my club. These players are blaming Ronaldo. He is the acid test for this squad. I'm glad. Let me tell you something, Terry. Liverpool are signing jack shit this January. Until I see the official announcement, I am not bringing my hopes up. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans feel like that. I think a lot of Liverpool supporters feel you, hear you, and to a degree agree with you that a lot of people feel like, yeah, we're not really going to do much. We'll wait and see, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. Terry, what's your thoughts on Richard Arnold becoming the new CEO? I have no real thoughts on it. We'll delve into that on the 6 o'clock show, but I have no real thoughts on it. We knew it was coming. It's not new news. The proof's going to be in the pudding. The proof is going to be in the pudding. But thank you for that super chat. 6 o'clock, we'll go into that in more detail. Watching from Rhode Island, 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Big up to yourself there, Zotta Stevens. So we are talking Liverpool, as we say. We will share the link in the comment sections if you guys want to come on and have a chat with us this morning about these transfer stories or some other things that are going on in your mind. I'm sharing that link now. If you want to come on, if you want to have your say, make sure you get that done and you get yourselves ready for that. You get yourselves on. Now, Anthony Martial. Actually, we'll touch on Martial now. Ruben Neves news coming up later in the show, people. But I want to touch on the Martial situation. We had a super chat here that says United should swap Martial for Koundé and kick that whiny Maguire out. Ruben talks are jokes and PR stunt. United is dead and the owners are to blame. The Anthony Martial situation. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. The Anthony Martial situation is interesting, and I was told 21st or 22nd of December that a total agreement for him leaving was very close. In the sense of he wants Sevilla, Sevilla want him, Man United are willing to let him go. The sort of the terms and the status of his position at Sevilla was absolutely fine. Man United were happy to let him leave if 100% of his salary was being paid. Sevilla essentially haven't come up with the offer that's adequate for Manchester United. They're not willing to pay enough or all of the salary. It's basically come to a loggerheads where they are very close to a total agreement and have been now for a couple of weeks. But Man United are not budging. Man United are not moving. Man United are not willing at this moment in time to pay Martial anything to go and play for another football club. They want all of his salary taken care of. This is one of the reasons why deals for incoming players to Man United is also slowing down, because the club has got a bloated squad. The club has got all these issues, and they essentially, it's like turning up to a very busy nightclub. It's one out, one in. And until Martial goes and his salary is covered, Man United are not going to look to commit to any other players. As it stands right now, things can always change. This is the nature of the beast. But Anthony Martial's deal is stalling. The problem here for Manchester United is frustration is starting to seep in. Annoyance is starting to creep into the player. And we all understand and know why. He wants out of Manchester United. He's had enough of Manchester United. He wants to move on. He wants to play elsewhere. He wants regular game time. Now, I'm not going to cast any aspersions and assume or guess that he may or he may not have been one of the individuals, who's been lazy, who's been insubordinate, who hasn't been doing, what the manager wants him to do. And the reason I say that is because nobody knows. Nobody knows who these players are. I haven't seen any reports. I saw Goldbridge tweet about he knows it isn't Ronaldo, McTominay, or whatever. I kind of believe that the majority of the players you see giving their all on the pitch are the individuals that are not being insubordinate. But I'm not going to cast any aspersions on Martial. Martial is struggling. He doesn't want to be there. The problem is his wage demands are huge. He's on £250,000 a week. Sevilla are not paying him. They're not going to pay him star money because they don't look at him as that. He'll be a star for them, but he isn't. Like, you're talking about a man who's being paid more than Virgil van Dijk. He's being paid more right now than Mo Salah. They're not going to do that. So a happy medium is going to have to be found in this. Man United are either going to have to fall on their sword, and I think Man United should fall on their sword. One, out of respect for partly damaging Anthony Martial's career, but on top of that, you made the decision to back this guy to be your main number 9. You put your faith in him. Somebody somewhere at that club said, yeah, he's going to be the guy. You got it wrong. For whatever reason, I don't care about the reason anymore. He isn't good enough to be our number 9, or he's even fancied to be our number 9. You're paying him number 9, centerpiece Man United salary. And we can't expect Sevilla to pick up the tab on that. We have got to eat it and say, we messed up, our mistake. Get him out. If he stays at the club unhappy, these problems persist. His teammates that like him will be annoyed the club are sitting him in the stands. He'll become disgruntled. His other half will probably have a pop online. And it creates another problem this club doesn't need. So right now, it isn't a good position for Manchester United in relation to Martial. It isn't good for Martial, but something's got to give. The player's becoming frustrated. He was told this could be resolved quickly and nothing's moving forward. Come to a happy medium with Sevilla. Give the man his move. End this saga. End this saga now. And get it over and done with. It's crazy to me that we're just procrastinating, delaying, pussyfooting about in these situations. It's becoming tiring. It really, really is. What is your thoughts on Anthony Martial? Do you think it's us, him, Sevilla? What do you think should be done to resolve this situation and move the player on in the way in which he wants to go? I want your take on this. You can call in to have your say. You can get your comments in as well. Get your comments in as well. I want to know what you think I want to know what you feel. I want to know what's going on in your minds. Now, one of the biggest pieces of news surrounding Man United is United to sign Ruben Neves. It's reared its head again. And of course, in the summer, both Dean Jones and Pete O'Rourke told us quite openly, quite candidly, that Man United were looking at the possibility, were interested in him, had done some diligence in the work, but they were never going to buy him unless other players left. And that turned out to be the absolute the way it went. We didn't go for that midfield player. He's now heavily linked with the club again. The club, Man United, are clearly pushing this information out. TalkSport, Sky, an abundance of newspapers, including the Daily Mail, are all running with this story that Manchester United are the leaders and are highly interested in Ruben Neves, and Ruben Neves wants to leave Wolves now. A deal could be done. The price is ranging, depending upon the report, from anywhere from 35. Excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat. Anywhere from 35 million to 50 million pounds. And this all sounds brilliant, doesn't it? It all sounds absolutely pucker. Amazing. Ruben Neves, top class midfielder, can play in a single pivot, a double pivot, can pass, he can move, wants to go to a bigger club. But I just smell a rat. I just smell a rat. And I've got two trains of thought to this. And I'm sorry to go full Lee Gunner, but I can't help myself anymore. I don't believe we're going to sign him. I'm not having a go at the journalists that are putting the links out. They are reporting what the club is briefing them. Man United Football Club is systematically briefing the media with this news. I don't believe we're going to get him. And if we do it, if we lose to Villa this weekend, every game we don't win or play well in over January, Ruben Neves to Man United becomes more likely. Because what this club do when they're failing is what bad parents do. They throw money at the problem rather than fixing the root cause. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't turn up to your last two football games, son. Do you know what? I'll buy you a new PlayStation game. This doesn't solve the problem. Get yourself to the games. I'm sorry I shouted at you, embarrassed you in front of your friends. I'll probably do it again, but what I'll do, I'll buy you a new top. I'll buy you some sweets. It's what Manchester United are, and it's horrible to be linked with such a good player, but at the same very time, feel hollow about it. Absolutely hollow. And we're going to delve into it on the Top 6 show later today. Man United are making these claims that Richard Arnold, who's taken over from Woodward today, will not have any input or control, which is more important, control rather than input over the footballing decisions. I ain't listening to you. I am not listening to these claims until I see the fruits of that labor consistently bearing juicy, succulent, tasty fruit. I ain't listening. I will believe you now when it's done and we can see it. I'm going to treat Man United how I believe my approach to faith is. Until you can categorically prove it to me, I'm not putting my faith in it. That's just how I am as a person. I've got to treat Man United in exactly the same way. I absolutely got to do it. Absolutely got to do it. I know a lot of you in the comments are saying, Terry, what about these reports of people being unhappy? We're touching all of that on the Top 6 show later on today, so make sure you tune into the channel later on. This link, this show will push you to that show so you can like it, or you can go to our homepage now, set a reminder. It's going to be an explosive show because I'm going in. But I wanted to keep today more about the transfers and everything that's kind of going on in that sort of space, really, if we could. If we, 1 second. 1 second, I've just got to update something because something doesn't look right. Now it looks better. There we go. That's updated. That's done. Members only stream tonight will be at 8 p.m. That's when that's going to be getting done, around 8 p.m. It might be, about 8 p.m. I'll be, actually, it might be a little bit later, actually. It might be a little bit later. I've just got to work something out at home. But yeah, it'll be today. 100% we'll be doing the members only stream today, my friend. That's going to be getting done, my friend. So yeah, get yourself signed up to be a member and you can join. My bro. 100% it will happen today. I can promise you that. I've just got to work the times out with the shows, other shows we're doing and stuff like that, but that will be happening today. So yeah, look, when it comes to the Ruben Neves deal, I'm not having a pop at any of the journalists talking about it. They're just reporting what they're being told. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I think it is 99.9% spin to take everybody's attentions away. A lot of questions about the Man United revolt. Save these questions till tonight's show, people. That's when we're going through it. Mark Goldberry said that Neves is not coming mid-season. That's exactly what I've said. So if that's what Mark has said, then I agree. The only way I see it happening is if the results keep getting worse. And then the club throws huge money at it. But we as fans play into this and make it easy for the owners. If people think the owners don't know what Man United fans think and feel and say, they're mad. Have you noticed that nearly all the PR stunts mirror what the most angry fans want? We buy a midfielder and we're ready, bruv. Get rid of McTominay, we're ready. Let's just get ourselves linked with a midfielder then, people. We want to play like Jurgen Klopp. Why don't we employ the guy that taught Jurgen Klopp? Man United fans are stupid. We all think it's a one solution fixes everything. It's deeper than that. Not all Man United fans, but you know what I'm saying. But there we go. Right, let's get to some of your calls this morning. We're talking Liverpool, looking at Luiz Diaz. We're talking about the Anthony Martial problems. We're looking at Man United to try and sign Ruben Neves. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Make sure that like button's being smashed as well. Very important to the terrace that you get that done. My first caller is a Liverpool fan. Abs is back on the show. What you saying, Abs? How you doing, mate?
Yes, Terry, man. Long time. Hope you're good, my guy.
I'm good, mate. Do you know, all things considered at my football club, I'm good. In life, I am blessed, mate. Best things have ever been. So can't complain about life. But yeah, go on, mate. What do you want to say?
Good, man. No, it's just this Luis Diaz thing, actually. I know Liverpool fans, and I get it, man. The last transfer window was very frustrating. But I think we Liverpool fans need to get out our head like our club is never going to spend money again, especially when we're linked to certain players. I look at this Luis Diaz situation. And I think it's a deal that's possible that could happen because when you look at our model at the moment, we need to start bringing in young talent coming through. And I think this player could definitely come and offer something new on the wings. Of course, the frustration, it digs back to last summer because we look at the title race now, and if we sign some quality players, we possibly will still be in the conversation for challenging City. And I think it's evident that that's now cost us, but we can't just stop there. We've got to kind of look forward. And I look at the Luis Diaz player, especially someone that can play on the wings and maybe take up that Sadio Mane position. I think it's somewhere where Liverpool could definitely strengthen. And the one thing I do feel that is really strong is, when you sign a player of that caliber, when you've got the likes of Jurgen Klopp that you're working with, you can mold that player into another Sadio Mane. Like we've seen what we did with Jota. Obviously, Minamino didn't really make the cut, unfortunately. He's just a quality below, but I think Luis Diaz definitely has the potential. But just looking at that Liverpool team at the moment, I felt quite embarrassed. We went to that Chelsea game and it was a must-win game for us. And, to look at the pitch and you see it's James Milner, 36-year-old, that's starting for us, I think it's quite embarrassing. So I do feel FSG will invest. Obviously, their model is a bit frustrating because you want to see us bring in players. But I think with them, it's more or less they've got like a strategy of when they invest over a long-term period. So maybe every 3 to 4 years, it's hit that period now where we need reinvestment. And I think Luis Diaz Breathley does tick that box. I know they're looking at a midfielder. Hopefully, I know we've been linked to the Dennis guy. And if I'm correct, I think he could offer something as well. But I think if we could get Luis Diaz in for this window, if it's possible, I think we're in a strong position to still challenge for the Champions League and all those other domestic trophies as well.
Yeah, now listen, I actually respect what you're saying there. more than you can imagine when I speak about when you speak about it being embarrassing. And a lot of Liverpool fans, when I say things like that, think I'm having a pop at them as a football club or as fans. I'm actually like backing you because Liverpool, you've got some very good players. You've got a good squad, but you just think there are 4 or 5 positions where if a bit more money was spent and a bit more capital was thrown in, if for instance you already had, you forget Luis Diaz, if you had Rafinha in your squad this season, as an example, if you had a proper replacement for Gini Wijnaldum, let's just say you went out and bought Basuma that you were linked. If you added Basuma and Rafinha into your squad this season, I don't think you'd be, what is it? You 10 points, 11 points behind
10
City?
points of a game in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be that, and that's a big gap over a team
Yeah.
like that. It's a huge gap, and you wouldn't be that far behind. Those types of, that's where the money's got to go. Collectively, what's that? 100, 110, 120 million pounds. But if you look at the
Yeah.
age of those players, they're players that can give you 8-9 years. So when you look at like sort of spreading that cost, it really ain't that bad. Do you get where I'm coming from? It isn't sort of like a huge amount of money over that period of time. And I think that's where, like, Liverpool fans, I know you guys, generally speaking, will defend your club, defend your owners, defend your managers, unless the owners do something outrageous like Super League or whatever. You kind of defend it and you keep it quite close house, quite in-house, and you don't like to like air your dirty linen in public. But I think if you
No,
look
I
at
agree.
I think a little bit more pressure needs to be put upon the club and even put upon the manager to demand it, if that makes sense. Because you guys have got used to winning again now, and I don't think you guys in your heart of hearts want to go back to this process. Okay, we won a Prem and a Champions League, but we're happy again to wait 5 years to refresh the squad to be ready to win again. I don't think any of you are really prepared to wait that long again to be truly competitive in a title race, because you weren't competitive last year. Unless you catch City up, if you end up finishing any more than, say, 12 points behind them, you haven't been competitive in the title race this year for the long haul. So that's 2 years running after being champions that you haven't really competed. I don't think that's acceptable for a team, one of the most famous and decorated clubs in the world. I think you guys, if you're all being really honest, want more than that. And I know I might be talking out of turn, but it's just a sense that I get.
No, I agree. And you know the funny thing, I think even me, I'm guilty of it as well. Coming into this season, I still felt with our team, I felt we could still challenge. I was gutted we didn't make any signings, but I think the Liverpool mentality is like, you know what, this is what we have, we will deal with it. And I think it was clear that we could challenge, but when it hit that period, especially that Christmas festive period, and it showed only one team in this league has real quality in depth. When I'm talking about quality in terms of when a player comes out and another player comes in, the level does not drop. We thought Chelsea did, but it was only Man City. And that's why Man City, the gap is so big at the moment, is because they did not struggle through that festive period, because when they were losing players, they had other players that can come in and do the job. And it was embarrassing, that Chelsea game for us, because when we go up 2 goals ahead, normally the previous Liverpool team see out those results. But then you cast your mind back, like who was playing? We had Fabinho and Gini Wijnaldum in midfield, solid midfielders. These guys that can control games for us. And when you have James Milner, unfortunately, and I respect James Milner for what he's done, you can't expect Milner to control a game of that caliber, essentially. And I think we got caught out, and it's been evident that we've not got that real quality in depth, which a lot of people have alluded to. But it's evident to Liverpool fans now that we haven't got that quality in depth. And FSG need to back us, especially Klopp. And the great thing, which you did allude to as well, with Klopp, one thing we can say is when he gets the right profile of player, what he does, we've seen it with Jota, we've seen it with Mane, we've seen it with Salah. He develops them into world-class players. So even their value doubles and triples over time. So
Absolutely. And he brings in what Jurgen Klopp is a master at, generally speaking. He is good at developing them. At the same time, he buys players that his system needs. You look at Man United as an example right now. We're trying to play Bruno Fernandes in a position that he's not great at. Pointless. You look at Chelsea last night. Ziyech got played in his actual position for the first time at Chelsea. He looked really good. He is a right inside forward. When you play him as kind of like a floating 10 or just behind the striker or a wing back, he's not going to be as impactful. This is the crazy thing for me. We all know that Marcos Alonso is a liability as a left back. He's pretty good as a wing back. So if you're going to play him, it's all about horses for courses. And what Jurgen Klopp has got FSG doing, and I do think it's the influence of Klopp that's led to FSG doing this. If it's like, okay, I need an inside left forward who's right-footed, who can do these three things, who has this temperament, who's got this level of speed. If they can't find someone who ticks those boxes, they don't sign anybody. And I prefer that. You know, I said I wanted a midfielder in the summer. But what I did say at the time was, even at my club with the calamity, is I don't just want to sign a midfielder to sign a midfielder. I'd rather wait another 12 months and get the right person that's going to fit what we need. Man United don't do that. We deviate too often and go, oh, we didn't get anyone. The fans are angry. Let's just buy Ronaldo, or let's just buy Donny van de Beek. We've got no real plan to use them. They don't fit the system, which means we've got to change it all up again. And I've just read a report here, and we're going to do more of this on the Top 6 show later. Erik ten Hag is still leading the race to become the next Man United manager, according to Henry Winter, one of the most credible voices in football. So think about this from how Klopp gets things right compared to an FSG overall compared to Man United. We're moaning right now that our players are not willing to learn Ralph's style. And I don't agree that they should just be able to down tools. But you're going to coach these players to work out how to play the German-style Gegenpress for 6 months. Just to have Ten Hag come in and teach them Ajax style of football in the summer. I can understand slightly why some of the players are like, why are we learning this to unlearn it again in 5 months' time? It's a madness. It's honestly, it's like, okay, I'm going to teach you to be a plumber, but the first thing I'm going to teach you to do is how to saw wood. Why? Just teach me how to be a plumber now. It's crazy. It's absolute madness. Great call, Ads. Absolutely appreciate it.
I was just going to say, Terry, it's funny how we're both suffering from the opposite situations. Your team is spending money but not getting the right profile. Our team is not spending money, but if they do spend, they get the right profile. It's the beauty of football.
And do you know what's crazy about it, bro? Liverpool are I get a lot of Liverpool fans that say, how can you say your club owners don't care when they spend so much money? Care is a very interesting word of how people perceive it, because that's because, say, Liverpool fans want more money to be spent. But there's no point. If you guys spent double the money but bought the wrong players, it's pointless. You know, the example I always give is this: if my kids are hungry, buying them a brand new bike doesn't stop them from being hungry. They might not feel the hunger for an hour while they're excited about their new bike, but then they're hungry at the end of it. Like, what I need to do is give them some nutritious food that's good for them, that makes them that gives them what they want. Then buy them a bike. Do you know what I mean? Then get them a bike. But Man United just were asked about Tip. Top man for coming on, Ads. Really
brilliant, man.
It, bro. Thank you very much.
Take it easy, my guy.
Thank you. I am going to go to your super chats that have been coming through. I'm not ignoring them. We just star them and we'll read them out a little bit later. Next on the show, I want to go to Mohammed, Liverpool fan. What are you saying, Mo?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, bro. What are you saying, my friend?
Yeah, Luiz Diaz, Liverpool. Yeah, that's a good move for Liverpool, but you know what FSG are like. Will they go? Will they go now, or will they go in the summer for him? Because you know they'll try and like drive the price down cheaper so they can get him for cheaper, and then the talks might break down. You never know with FSG. That's the problem, and. In my opinion, I think we should be prioritizing a midfielder over a striker in this moment in time, because we are in desperate need of a midfielder, because you can just see, like, when someone like Thiago goes out the team, we just like it doesn't work. Like, the midfield's all over the place. We don't keep the ball well enough, and then with the midfield it doesn't track back, and then we get exposed at the back. And then, you know, like you saw with games like Chelsea and Brentford this season, where we just took the lead and then we just made a couple of errors in the midfield, and then that's where the game was unfortunately drawn or lost even in some cases.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think you do need to invest in multiple areas. I doubt too much will happen in January for Liverpool, as you tend not to do it, barring, of course, the very famous Van Dijk signing and Luis Suarez. You had a few good signings in January, but yeah, the midfield definitely needs to be worked on next year. You need to. Genie's gone. You know, Milner's got to be moved on, and you've got to invest. But you've got the problem is when you're Liverpool. This is the one thing I think you'll suffer with. And it's about the club changing because of how successful your Moneyball approach is. Clubs are always going to charge you more money. And I'll give you an example. Do you know who David Dickinson is?
Not really, no.
So he does like shows where it's like antique shows where he knows about he's an antiques dealer. He has TV shows. If some random if one of my friends who I knew well and I knew what they were doing wanted to buy a painting in my house. By the way, I don't have any paintings, but say I had a painting that my nan gave me and he's like, oh, I love that painting. I'd love to buy it off you. I wouldn't think anything weird about it. If David Dickinson turned up at my house and was like, I'd love to buy that painting, I'm going to go, must be worth something. When Liverpool turn up and want a player, the reaction from the vendor, the seller, is going to be, well, Liverpool buy players generally for a lot lower value than they end up turn out to be. So they buy Robertson for 8 million quid, but make him one of the best left backs in the world. Salah, who was seen as a Premier League flop for 30 million, and they turn him into a 200 million pound player. So if you want my 30 million pound midfielder, I'm charging you 60, 70 million pounds because maybe you see something in him that we haven't done yet. That's what happens when your transfer approach yields success. People just charge you more money. It's basics. And I think that's something FSG have got to come to grips with. If Klopp wants Basuma, that means he thinks Basuma can help him win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues again. When you guys were signing the Manes and whatever else, there wasn't this resounding belief that it would work from the whole of football. Forget what Liverpool fans thought. The whole of football. Klopp and FFG's approach is shown to work. Therefore, you're going to get charged a premium for it. Simple as that.
Exactly. Just one more thing as well. Like, even if Liverpool put like I don't know, extra 20, 30 million into the squad, I think that's enough to compete with Man City because, like, as you can see, Klopp just needs to spend half of what Man City is spending just to compete. We saw it over the last couple of seasons when Liverpool were actually spending money. So, like, even if just 10, 20 million more extra, and then suddenly we're like in the title race, that's all we're asking for from Liverpool fans. We're just asking for like 1 or 2 extra squad players.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that, bro. I hear you on that. Great call as ever, and I'll see you on the members team later today. Top man, thank you.
See ya.
Pav's on the show with me now. What you saying, Pav?
Oh, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, mate.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about Ruben Neves. I think most of this talk's probably coming from the fact that Wolves beat us the other day and the fact that Ruben Neves put in a decent performance. Almost scored a banger against us as well. I don't think we end up with him, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, they come out with the announcement today that Woodward's leaving at the end of January. There's no chance in hell that this club will buy any players. Now, the fact that we know that Woodward's leaving at the end of January, I think a lot of our transfers are probably going to happen in the summer. I think what's going to happen this window is probably outgoings. And that's all I'm kind of concerned about at the moment as well, because any incomings we bring in now, I think will probably disrupt the squad even more with what's happening. The whole Martial thing, I've seen. Well, to be fair, I probably just saw it on your Twitter. I don't know where you might have seen a source from about Sevilla maybe agreeing a deal. I don't know if it's for a loan or permanent move, but he's one of the players who have to go. Not just him. I think someone like Donny has to go. It hasn't worked out. It's been a flop of a signing. Not his fault. That's another problem where the club's messed up. I think we need to probably get rid of one of our fullbacks, and that will end up probably being someone like a Tellez. I can't see Wan-Bissaka being shifted out of the squad right now. I don't see it. To be fair, I don't really see any of the English players, barring maybe 1 or 2, being released out of the squad. It probably will be a lot of the foreign players, but incomings, I can't see it personally myself. Whatever happens between February and the end of the season will determine what's going to happen in the summer.
I think what's really interesting as well, I put a tweet out, and some of the responses are sort of like, I've kind of tweeted that United want Erik ten Hag to replace Rangnick as manager. We always knew that he was going to be replaced.
Yeah.
Or highly likely. So we're going to train and coach this team to play Rangnick's way for 6 months, just to switch to a completely different style in the summer. That worries me. We should be, and we don't know this is the case, but we should be trying to create a bit of a go-between between the two styles. Equally, Ralph, of course, is going to go upstairs and become a kind of director of football. That's what we hope, because I think he's brilliant at that job. But he obviously, and I'm sure he's aware of this, and it's like I'm speaking in too much of a simplistic term. We need to be targeting players. If Ten Hag is our number one target, it means our number 2, number 3, number 4 targets should have a similar style of football to Ten Hag, because we should be recruiting players that can play that way. And even if we don't land him, let's just say Pep leaves at the end of the summer because he wins the Premier League and Champions League, and then City come in for Ten Hag and he prefers that project to Man United's. Our second choice shouldn't be the complete opposite to Ten Hag. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's almost, this is what worries me more than the players we're linked with, Ralph running the club, Arnold, Ten Hag coming in, is it's Ten Hag or Poch. They're not the same as each other. What's the club's plan? It's the players must be sitting there. I'm not even trying to defend them, but I can't help it. They must be sitting there thinking, so Ragnick could stay on if he does well. Poch could come in. Ten Hag could come in. We might buy two new players this January. Can they play the way the new manager is going to play? How am I going to adapt to that? What's my future look like? I think I could do. Donny must think I could play Ten Hag's football. I can't play Poch's. Like, I don't. This club infuriates. So I agree with you. I actually almost feel like signing people in January could end up just being another waste of 50, 60, 70 million pounds.
The thing is, you know what's going to happen if we did sign Neves this month. The papers are just going to say, oh, the signing was influenced by Bruno Ronaldo, the Portuguese mafia in the club. That's what's going to happen with this club. That's what I mean. If we end up signing players, I think it's just going to be more of a disruption. We've got such a big squad that we can't afford to keep bringing in more players because these lot are so crap at their job. Ideally, most of them have to go in the summer.
It's putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Still a pig. Do you know what I mean? It's just a madness to me. Pav, great call, my friend. Thanks for coming on and having your say. Appreciate that. Thank you. Next on the show, I'm going to go to United Universal. What are you saying, buddy?
Hey, Terry, can you hear me?
I can, my friend. What do you want to say?
Well, what I wanted to say, the first thing is I'm a Man United supporter, but when it comes to Liverpool, I think that for me personally, I think it would make more sense spending that money on Rafinha, because if you think about it, if Klopp likes playing that inverted forward type of football, and you buy Luiz Diaz, now you have Jota who can play off the left, you have Mane who can play off the left, you have Luiz Diaz who can play off the left. So I think it would be easier if they'd get Rafinha for arguably less and then cover Mo Salah's side and then have Jota play on Mane's side and then find someone who can fill in that number 9 role until the end of until Salah and Mane come back. And then my other part was Martial. I think with Martial, in the front two, I think he'd work better than he would as a lone 9, because with the front two, you can drift out wide. And if people always go like, oh no, Martial is a left winger, Martial's a left winger. If you have 2 up front, that means he has that license to go out wide and play as a left forward instead of just a lone number 9. And then he'll have Ronaldo in the box occupying that spot he's on. And then my last part is Ten Hag. I'm going to challenge you on this one because I don't think Ten Hag is actually different from Ragnick. But I do watch Ajax. Ajax actually have their own gauge and press. They actually do play a gauge and press. But the only difference between his gauge and press and Ragnick's gauge and press is the fact that Ragnick plays a 4-2-2-2, where Ten Hag plays a 4-3-3. Basically, that style of football we want to play. So I think the Ten Hag signing would actually work more than Poch or any other manager, because
I would prefer Ten Hag. Mate, do you know what? I don't overtly disagree. I feel like I would prefer Ten Hag over Poch personally. I love the way his teams play. I feel like there's a real difference in their styles when in possession, in terms of how they move the ball, the positions, the movement of players. I think that's really different. Equally, again, I'm just a football fan, so and I'm frustrated with the way we do things. However, we might not land Ten Hag, but we should, if we're confident we're going to get him, and I think we've got a great chance because of the connection with Van der Sar, what we're looking to do. I think there's a great chance Man United get him. We should start to mold the team into his way sooner. So his formations. Imagine, my view is just this. Imagine it takes us 2 months. Now this 4-2-2-2. And then
Oh yeah.
just for the players to know, yeah, by the way, we're going 4-3-3 next season. I just feel like it just feels like a waste of time. But listen, I pray and hope that you are 100% right and I am 100% wrong, my friend. I really, really do. Top man for coming on and having your say.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Next on the show, I'm going to go long time no speak. Lord Nelson is here, ladies and gentlemen. What are you saying, Lord Nelson?
How you doing, man?
I'm very well. What do you want to say?
What do I have to say? I think they should fire everybody. Everybody must go. They are all bad workers. They are all bad workers. They can work. They just how do I say this? Starting from Cristiano Ronaldo, all of them they need to go. We need to start afresh. Just keep some of the young players, and we build a new team because we can't have the old destroying the new. You know, we have to create something new, something beautiful. And we don't have something beautiful right now. We just have patches of brilliance. You know.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and what's really hard about Man United at the minute is I'm seeing people today say that none of this is down to Ralph. Fletcher's too involved. Ronaldo is the one that's ruined the harmony in the squad. Others are saying no, it isn't Ronaldo that's ruined it. People just don't want to raise their standards to his. There's a lot of infighting going on. There's a lot of like madness going on right now, and
there's this saying that Manchester United player. I think that's stupid, man. Like we need a Manchester United team, not a Manchester United player. Like we just need a team that can play together, that wants to be around each other and win together. If we win a trophy right now, like how would they celebrate? Would they celebrate like a team, or would Papa just take a picture of himself on Instagram? Oh, I won a trophy, and Cristiano is own, and each person for themselves. You know, they're not playing like a team. Like it's not a beautiful team anymore. We were doing better before Cristiano came, of course. We were supposed to be challenging for the Premier League this season, but
yeah, I hear you. And look, again, sometimes it's not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2 with these situations. Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
You know, it may not even be Ronaldo's attitude bothering people. It could just be the squad felt they were really close to properly challenging, and Ronaldo comes in, they change their style to match him, and it hasn't quite worked, and people feel frustrated by that. They're probably not angry at Ronaldo. They're probably angry at the situation of the club buying him, and it's easy to boil it down to him. The club's just it's so frustrating to be where we were and then gone back in the other way. But there we go. Listen, Lord Nelson, top man for coming on and having your say. Thank you, buddy. Terry, there's a fake Mac 1 in the chat. Oh, sorry about. I can't control what people use as their usernames, my friend. But thank you for letting us know. Some more super chats here from earlier. According to Sky, Coutinho is close to moving to Aston Villa. What impact do you see him having with the club currently 13th? And of course, Gerrard's done very well since he's come in so far. I think everybody's improved there. Coutinho is an interesting one because I feel like he is an out-and-out Premier League player. It's whether or not he was best in the Premier League compared to what he did in Serie A, La Liga, and the Bundesliga. The Premier League was where he was alive. He matched the Premier League style almost perfectly. So it's whether or not he still has the appetite, hunger, fitness, and physicality to do what he was doing at Liverpool 4 or 5 years ago. 6 years ago, maybe it was now. I don't quite remember the dates. Could be an excellent signing. But if he's past his best, if he's sort of lost his hunger, if he's a bit like a boxer that's lost his punch resistance, doesn't quite have the snap in his jabs anymore. If he's in that position, then it's not a great move. But it's a loan, right? I heard it's a loan. So if it doesn't work, it'll be gone again anyway. I heard it's a loan. Maybe it's a full deal, but it could be very good. Ruben Neves is Portuguese, especially with rumours from Old Trafford. It's not a good omen, is what's said there. Morning, Terry. Is it more important United to get in and out right now? Sorry, is it more important I don't know what that means. Oh, is it more important for United to bring players in or out? I think it's more important to get a few people out, actually. If you threw 2 new signings in, but there's 3 or 4 players there that are toxic and angry and want to get out, You add good players into bad. It's if you've got a bit of if you've got like wood lice, not wood lice. Yeah, if you've got like what are those things called that eat through your wood? Is it wood lice that like? No, not wood lice. What are they called? Those things that like chomp through your wood. Termites. Say you got to wood lice. Say you got termites, or you got some rot that's spreading in the timber in your house. If you put new wood up against the rotten wood or the infested wood to hold it up and maintain it, but the infestation is still there or the rot is still there, eventually it will transmit itself and corrupt the fresh, clean, good wood. You need to remove those problems before you add new people to it. That's my take. It took me a long time to get there, but we got there in the end. Terry, Klopp is living rent-free in rivals' heads. They are actually paying him to live there. Check the news. What news, bro? I need to know what news I'm checking. Don't trust FFG at all. Too stringent in transfers. Deborah Luck says 70% of the world is covered by water. The other 30% is covered by James Milner, is what Debs is saying there. Yeah, people keep saying there's a fake account in there. I can't do nothing about that fake account, I'm afraid. They'll just check it. It's why I don't block people that like do nothing overtly wrong. You block these people. You know, like when someone spams and you'll go, they're spamming. You block the one, they just go and switch to another account. Just ignore it and they go away. Ignore it and go away. Check. I don't need to check. I know the Woodward news. Woodward news is done. We're talking about that more at the 6:30 show tonight. So relax on that one, people. We're talking about these transfer rumors today. Right, I'm going to go to another call in just a moment. Someone says check Fabrizio's tweet. Man United are not currently currently not in progress of signing him in January. Ragnick staff monitored Alves at Lokomotiv and United sent scouts. There is nothing else as of now. His agent is going to meet many clubs. Yeah, I kind of tweeted the same thing this morning. I don't know if you saw it. I spoke to a journalist a few days yesterday afternoon who was like, this deal could be close a few days ago. And he essentially said to me, and I'm going to read out what he told me. I think I tweeted it. I did tweet it, yeah. He says advanced and detailed talks happened this week. So Man United had advanced talks and detailed talks with Alvarez around squad status, where they're at, prices, costs, everything. So it wasn't just an inquiry, it was a full-on conversation. Man United have been scouting Julian Alvarez for a while. Fee set by River Plate. However, I am told there is no further progress with Man United as of now. So, I was told that yesterday. They said it was advancing a few days ago. It looks like those talks have happened and Man United are kind of stepping away, assessing the situation, waiting to see what else is going on. Maybe the price was too high. Maybe they've got to get rid of people first. But as far as I can see, it's just Man United have decided right now to not pull back. So what Fabrizio has said echoes what I was told last night. So yeah, seems that news is fairly true. What are we looking at here? Who are we going to go to next? Next on the show, Mash is with us now. What are you saying, Mash?
Hello, Terry. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, mate.
Greetings to the family and everyone. I'd like to talk about the Ruben Neves rumor coming up, and I agree with the previous caller who said that it's a lot of bollocks. Because if you read into it, it's just to keep us fans positive with everything's going on. I've got a pal. I live in Manchester, so I've got a pal who's connected with one of the barbers of the players. And in the past few weeks, before when they used to meet up, the players used to chat about Champions League football and whatnot. But now we have Atletico Madrid coming up, and the news that he got from his barber friend is that they don't even want to talk about football anymore. They're just gonna talk about life, talk about family and whatnot, but nothing about football. The players are absolutely depressed. And I heard you speak about Martial and whatnot, who's going to go out, who's going to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps on going on, the club actually putting Mr. Fletcher, putting Mr. Fletcher in, and he's going to be the man to lead the team because it looks really bad. I've seen Ragnick in the Crystal Palace game coming in and talk about tactics, and now since the last 3 games, he doesn't even talk about tactics. All he says is the players are lacking effort, this, that. Tactics have gone off. The gegenpress has not been mentioned anymore. He knows, like he's been told stuff that, we don't want you to mess everything up. Do what was being done before under Oli. and end of the season we're going to change. And also what you mentioned before is that why would the players buy into Ragnick and whatnot? So it looks so bad, I can't believe what's happening to my club. I just can't believe it.
I hear you. And look, there's quite a few people. We've got a few connection issues there, but thank you. I picked up most of what you've said. And there's a few people in the comments on Twitter, especially, that sort of like, no, Ragnick and Ten Hag are very similar styles to each other, and it will work. And look, I so hope I'm wrong and I'm off key. I just pray that I'm wrong about all of this. But when you just get a gut feeling, and it's the same feeling I've had the last 2 or 3 times we've appointed managers, I'm just not prepared this time as a fan to focus purely on the positives and what positive things might happen. I need to be more real and stay in the middle. Look, this whole, I stand by these 2 things. How it is right now could be the beginning of a positive future. Actually, we are finally removing control from the board, and it's the first time we're actually going to have a football man or woman come in and do a proper rebuild. That actually, some people have said that. Well, actually, maybe that's why the kickback's here, because the players are now being made to work. If the club allow all the deadwood, all the insubordinate, all the lazy players to be removed, if they then bring in all people that are willing to do the work, if they bring in a world-class coach, create a conducive system by the profile of players that fits that, in 2 or 3, 4 years' time, we could be near a competitive space. That's a positive way to look at this. The problem I have is I have no faith in us actually completing that journey, even if we start it with all good intentions. So that's just where I'm at right now. I just feel like I'm stuck in limbo. It's like, I hate how it is, but I've got no faith in anybody that tells me it could get better, because we've tried to make it better 5 times now and it doesn't seem like it's working. So like, I'm a bit like you, mate, that it's an absolute mess and no one knows what's going to happen. No one knows if the next manager is going to be a success. This signing is going to work. This guy's going to be good. We've got no idea. Like, we're that much of a mess, mate. But great call, Mash. Thank you for coming on the show and having your say. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Everybody that's tuned in, remember, I want every single one of it. 1,200 of you watching right now. I want you all back on time tonight, 6 p.m. live. We're going to be delving into Woodward's removal, the news about Ten Hag taking over at Manchester United. We're going to be previewing some of the big FA Cup clashes this weekend. We've got a great panel on the show. We've got a European expert on. Neeks is back on tonight as well. Igao is on the show as well. So make sure you're here at 6 p.m. Go to the homepage now. I want to see numbers dropping off the stream now. Go to the homepage, hit the like button, set your reminders, and we'll see you all at 6 p.m. live on the Bet Victor Top 6 show. Until then, take care. Goodbye.